It doesn't matter. Okay, so Safiyyah, what was the dignity of Surah Kahf, which I told you? Can you just repeat it to me, please?
Surah Kahf,
Mm-hmm.
it comes on the Day of Judgment. It's gonna be like
Was that the dignity of Surah Kahf? Nabil?
No.
What
That's
was
Surah
it?
Mulk.
Yeah, Surah Mulk, not on the Day of Judgment. Okay, Surah Mulk was related to something like that.
oh wait, no, I remember. It's gonna give us light from this Friday to the next Friday.
Okay, so basically Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Surah Kahf, if someone reads Surah Kahf every Friday, then there will be a light between them and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which will stay up until the next Friday, isn't it? Huh? Yeah. So that was the one of the fazila of Surah Kahf was that. And what else was as fazila of Surah Kahf? What else did I tell you? Do you remember?
Your iman will stay
No,
high.
wasn't there anything else about Dajjal? And that is why you
Well, it will
memorized the
protect you
first
from
10. That is why you
Dajjal.
memorized the first 10 ayats of Surah Kahf. So what was it? Can you say something about it, Waseema?
Surah Kahf on the Day of Judgment will get a light.
You didn't hear me then. You didn't hear me with concentration. I said Surah Kahf. If someone reads Surah Kahf, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, I'm repeating that again. Please listen clearly. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if someone reads Surah Kahf every Friday, then you will have a light. Ma baynaka wa bayn Allah. Ma baynaki wa bayn Allah. There will be a light between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which will stay up until next Friday. Okay, so for a week you will have a light, a guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what else was the fazila of Surah Kahf? Fazila meaning dignity. What
It will
else did I
protect you
tell
from
you?
Dajjal.
Will be strong, so like you won't fall.
Yeah, so protection of Dajjal. You will get a protection from Dajjal, isn't it? You will have protection from Dajjal by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, isn't it? Allah will give you a protection, isn't it? Okay, and what else was the fazila of Surah Mulk? Can you repeat that for us?
When you meet Allah,
It will be
Surah Mulk will speak up for you, and Surah Mulk will say, protect you and tell Allah, like on your behalf, saying all your goodness.
Okay, Nabil, can you tell us something about it?
I forgot what I think it's called, but it's gonna like back you on the Day of Judgment. So it's gonna.
Is it only on the day? Is it only on the Day of Judgment, or even from the grave?
G.
Is it only on the Day of Judgment, or even from the grave?
From the grave.
From the grave, isn't it? From the grave, yeah. So what I told you is, listen, there is a hadith, even in Sahih Muslim, Rasul sallallahu from Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu's narration, he says, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever reads Surah Mulk, okay, after Isha, Salatul Isha, before they go to sleep, then this surah will become one of the intercessor after you pass away. Okay, so it will become like your solicitor in front of Allah. It will stand for you in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If there is any problem, even from the life of grave, which is called Alam al-Barzakh, the grave life is called Alam al-Barzakh. Alright, it will be arguing on behalf of you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Meaning, arguing doesn't mean bad way. It will do talk on behalf of you. Let's say if you had any problem, it will say, oh Allah, this servant of you this is a servant of you who used to read me all the time before he used to go sleep. Okay, before they used to go sleep. So it will do a intercession on behalf of you in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that was the benefit of Surah Mulk. Okay, and what is the benefit of Surah Waqiah? Can anyone tell?
It will keep you away from poverty and diseases like diabetes and where you can't eat certain foods.
It'll help your wealth be stable so you don't get financial problems.
Alright, so mashallah, it was clear. Some said some part and some others said some other part. Alright. The benefit of Surah Waqiah is, I told you a story another time, you know. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he was one of the great Sahabi of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. One day, Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu ta'ala anhu, who was the third Khalifa of Islam. You remember him? Yeah? And one of the great Sahabi who donated all of his wealth in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like Abu Bakr Siddiq and Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu. So, and he used to be called Ghani. You know, Ghani, Usman al-Ghani. Ghani meaning the rich. He used to be the rich of the Arab. Okay, one of the richest person of the Arab. Okay, so one day he went to meet Hazrat Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and he found him, he's on his last moment, meaning like he's on his like Sakaratul Maut, alright? Sakaratul Maut meaning the pain of death. When the pain of death comes, everyone starts to think about their past. Everyone starts to think what is going to happen when we go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And for the believers, it's very mild pain. And for non-believers, Allah mentioned in Quran, Allahu Akbar, it's so painful for those sinners and non-believers. Alright, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from this kind of pain of death. It is called Sakaratul Maut. Alright, every person has to taste it. Okay, some tastes a little, some tastes longer. You know, some of us Syrians said that the Sakaratul Maut for some people it starts even for a week, for a month, you know, for hours, for days, depending on their amal. Yeah, go on.
I'm gonna go get my charger.
Alright, hurry up then. Okay, so you know what I was telling, the story of Hazrat Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu ta'ala anhu. So he was on his last moment, and Usman radiallahu ta'ala came to meet him, and he found Abdullah ibn Mas'ud is a bit sad, like he looks a bit he has got some tension in his mind, in his heart. So Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu ta'ala anhu was asked by Usman that, oh Abdullah, what happened to you? Why do you look so sad? Is it because you are leaving your children behind, meaning like you have got few girls who you didn't give their marriage yet? Are you stressed because of them? Are you worrying because of them? Don't worry, I will look after them. Allah gave me enough wealth. I will give their marriage inshallah after you pass away. Do you understand? But then what happened? Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu ta'ala anhu, in reply he said, Usman, I am not scared of this situation and I don't care for that. It's not because of that. You know, I taught my girls a special thing which will protect them inshallah from any kind of poverty, any you know, disease which takes their taste bud away. Do you understand? Or anything which stops them eating with their choices, with their desire. So then he said, look, I heard Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever reads Surah Waqiah after Maghrib, okay, in between Maghrib and Isha, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will remove his poverty. He will not struggle for food. He will not struggle for anything, for his money, for his earning, for anything basically in the world, whatever we struggle for. Do you understand? We will not struggle anymore. So this is a gift of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to us, Surah Waqiah. So we should read it every day after Maghrib. Alright? Okay, so that was the story. So Abdullah ibn Mas'ud said, I don't worry for that. I am just worrying about my liqa ilallah. How am I going to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Do I have enough good deeds? Do I have enough thing which will please my Lord. Do you understand? So that was his worry. Okay, and every good Muslim, they worry about this actually. You know, how I'm going to meet my Lord. What have I got for him? I mean, what have I got to show him to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And we should worry for that actually, you know. And that was the main worry of all the Anbiya, all prophets, all awliyaullah, meaning all the closest people of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah give us tawfiq to understand this. Alright, so now you understood the dignity of Surah Waqiah, Surah Mulk and Surah Kahf. And also there is one remaining, which was Surah Yaseen. So what was the benefit of Surah Yaseen? Can anyone tell?
It's the soul of the Quran. And if you read it to an ill person, it will help like ease them, like
for the day.
It will remind them to read the Shahada.
Yeah, you should read it to someone who's on
passing away.
Okay,
and
mashallah.
if you read it at the start of your day, Allah will help make your day go more smoothly.
Okay, alright, mashallah. That was clear then, mashallah. So the gist of your sayings is basically the benefit of Surah Yaseen. If anyone reads every day at the beginning of their day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make everything easy on that day, whatever he's going to do. Alright, and the other benefit is, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if you read it in front of someone who is just passing away, you know, you can see that they are in their sakaratul maut, and if you read that surah in front of them, then Allah will give them the tawfiq, ability to remember kalima shahada. You know, shahada, they will say it and believe in it, and they will pass away with iman. That's the greatest benefit of Surah Yaseen. Alright.